Urgent Kansas City Chiefs fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Kansas City Chiefs updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Chiefs Kingdom! Today, we've got some explosive news that's shaking up the NFL and, more specifically, our beloved Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know what you're thinking, what could possibly be happening that's so big? Well, hold on tight, because what I'm about to tell you might surprise even the most die-hard Chiefs fans out there. It's a story that involves one of the most electrifying players in recent NFL history, a player who once called Arrowhead Stadium home, and now finds himself in the middle of swirling trade rumors that could change the landscape of the league and, potentially, the future of the Chiefs. But before we get into all of that, let's set the stage. We all know the story of Tyreek Hill, right? The speedster, the game changer, the guy who redefined what it means to be a wide receiver in today's NFL. When the Chiefs traded him to the Miami Dolphins back in 2022, it was a move that sent shockwaves through the league. Many fans wondered if the Chiefs were making a mistake, especially after Hill's incredible playmaking ability helped them reach back-to-back Super Bowls and secure one Lombardi trophy in the process. The trade, as controversial as it was at the time, was a strategic move by Kansas City's front office, allowing them to acquire draft picks and build depth across the roster. Yet, despite the success, fans still feel that itch. What if Hill had stayed? Could a reunion be possible someday? Well, today, we're diving into the latest rumors swirling around Hill, the Dolphins, and whether a return to Kansas City might be on the table. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill himself. For years, he's been one of the most electrifying players in the league. His speed is unmatched. When he's in full stride, defenders simply can't keep up. His ability to turn a short pass into a long touchdown is what made him a nightmare for defenses. But as with all athletes, age eventually catches up, and Hill's game has shown signs of decline. Last year, for the first time since 2019, Hill fell below 1,000 receiving yards, finishing with 940 yards across 17 games. Now, that's still a solid season, but it's a step down from the monster seasons he was putting up in his prime. And while some may point out that he played in all 17 games last year, something not always guaranteed in the NFL, that doesn't erase the fact that his explosiveness isn't quite what it used to be. What's more, Hill is now 31 years old, and the NFL is a league where speed, the cornerstone of his game, can diminish rapidly once a player hits that age mark. His game was predicated on raw speed and quickness, and those attributes tend to fade faster than other skills. So, it raises the question, how much longer can a player like Hill maintain that elite level of play? Will his speed continue to decline, or can he adapt his game? These are questions every NFL fan, especially Chiefs fans, are asking as the season progresses. And it's a significant point because, despite his incredible talent, Hill's off-field antics and some recent on-field struggles have made teams cautious about investing long-term in a player whose prime might be behind him. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. The Miami Dolphins, the team that acquired Hill in that blockbuster trade, are apparently open to moving him if the right offer comes along. Recently, Dolphins general manager Chris Grier made some eyebrow-raising comments during a press conference. When asked about the possibility of trading Hill, Grier was surprisingly candid. He said, "That is not anything that we're pursuing," which sounds like a flat denial, right? But then, he threw in that little caveat, who knows? If someone wants to come and give me 2 first-round picks, we'll consider it. Did you catch that? That's a huge statement. It's almost like Grier is saying, hey, if the right deal comes, we're listening. And considering the Dolphins are planning to move on from cornerback Jalen Ramsey, whose situation has been making waves in the league, it's clear that Miami might be reevaluating their roster and their assets. But let's analyze that comment a little more. 2 first-round picks, wow, that's a hefty price tag. It's more than Miami paid the Chiefs for Hill in the first place, which was a first-rounder and a second-rounder. So, Greer's statement might be more about setting a high bar, or maybe trying to gauge interest from other teams. It's important to remember that Greer is probably aware that most NFL teams wouldn't be willing to part ways with that kind of draft capital for a 31-year-old receiver, no matter how talented he is. Yet, the fact that he's even leaving the door open indicates that the Dolphins are exploring all options, especially if they believe Hill's production might decline further or if there are off-field concerns lingering. Now, from the Chiefs' perspective, this situation is fascinating. As much as fans love Hill and remember his incredible plays at Arrowhead, it's clear that a reunion isn't imminent. Kansas City's front office has moved on, building a roster that revolves around Patrick Mahomes and a versatile offense that can adapt to different styles of play. And with the current contract Hill has, $90 million for his deal, which is coming up for renewal or restructuring, the Chiefs probably aren't considering bringing him back in the immediate future. Plus, the team's focus is on maintaining that championship window, and bringing back a player whose best days might be behind him could be seen as a risk. But in the NFL, nothing is ever set in stone. If a team like Miami receives a mind-blowing offer, say, a package of multiple first-round picks, Kansas City or any other team might be tempted to make a move. Remember, the NFL is a business, and teams are always looking for ways to improve their roster, especially when that improvement involves a player with superstar potential. That said, it's a delicate balance. The Chiefs have built a team that's capable of competing at the highest level, and losing a player like Hill would leave a big void, especially given his history of big plays and clutch moments. Now, let's talk a little about the current season and what this means for Kansas City. The Chiefs are once again contenders, as they always are under the leadership of Mahomes and head coach Andy Reid. Their offense continues to be one of the most dynamic in the league, with Travis Kelce leading a talented receiving corps. But the loss of a player like Hill, if it were to happen, would force the team to adapt. The Chiefs have shown they can develop new receivers and schemes on the fly, but the difference between a good team and a truly great one often comes down to playmakers. Hill's speed and ability to stretch the field are rare commodities, and finding that kind of explosive threat elsewhere isn't easy. Meanwhile, in Miami, the Dolphins are riding high on their own success. With Tua Tagovailoa leading the offense, and a roster full of talented playmakers, they've become one of the most exciting teams to watch this season. Hill's chemistry with Tua has been evident, and his presence has given Miami a true home run hitter every time he steps on the field. But if rumors are true, and Miami is willing to listen to trade offers, that could shake up the entire AFC picture. A trade involving Hill would not only impact Miami but would send shockwaves across the league, possibly shifting power dynamics and playoff odds. For Chiefs fans, all of this might seem a little surreal. We've seen the team make bold moves before, but each time, it's about balancing the present with the future. The idea of Hill returning to Arrowhead is tantalizing, but realistically, it feels like a distant dream at this point. Still, the NFL has a way of surprising us. Sometimes, players return to their former teams in unexpected ways, and if Hill's situation in Miami continues to sour, maybe, just maybe, the door could reopen someday. But for now, it's all about speculation, rumors, and the strategic chess game being played out behind the scenes. And let's not forget, the Kansas City Chiefs are a franchise built on resilience and adaptability. They've lost key players before and always found a way to reload and stay competitive. Whether or not Hill becomes available for a reunion, the team's core, led by Mahomes, Kelce, and the coaching staff, continues to be a formidable force. Their focus remains on winning another Super Bowl, and every move they make is with that goal in mind. The offseason is always full of surprises, and this year is no different. If the Dolphins do decide to trade Hill, it could open the door for other teams to make a play, but Chiefs fans can rest assured that the front office will always be looking for ways to keep the team competitive, whether that means developing young talent, making savvy trades, or drafting future stars. In the end, what does all this mean for us, the Chiefs faithful? It's a reminder that the NFL is a constantly evolving league. No matter how much we love our players, the business side of things can change the landscape in an instant. But one thing remains certain, Kansas City will continue to be a team that fights for championships, and the fans will always be at the heart of that journey. We've seen incredible moments over the years, and whether Hill stays in Miami or returns someday, the story of Chiefs football is far from over. It's a saga filled with highs and lows, surprises and setbacks, but through it all, our team remains resilient, always aiming for greatness. So, Chiefs fans, stay tuned. Keep your eyes on the news, on the rumors, and on the upcoming games. This season promises to be full of excitement, and who knows? Maybe the biggest story of all is still to come. Remember, this league is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so exciting. Whether Tyreek Hill stays in Miami or makes a shocking return to Kansas City someday, one thing's for sure, our love for this team and its history will never change. Keep supporting the Chiefs, stay passionate, and as always, let's keep dreaming of that next Super Bowl victory. Thanks for being here today, and I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest from Chiefs Kingdom.